Hello, my name is Debbie Leaf and I'm here today to share a video with you about mindfulness. The video is going to tell you what mindfulness is, talk to you about some of the benefits of mindfulness, and I'm going to share a meditation with you. But first, I want to ask you some questions. Do you struggle to focus and concentrate on things? Do you struggle to relax? Do you overthink things? Do you struggle to switch off and to sleep? Do you often become irritable with friends and family, or maybe even yourself? This is all quite natural, but today I'm here to talk to you about mindfulness because this is one way that you can help to find some calm in an often frantic world that we live in today. So I want to share with you this picture which really tells you what mindfulness is all about. As you can see, there's someone out for a walk with their dog. They are in their mind with lots and lots of thoughts going round about maybe what's happened the day before, or maybe worrying about what's going to happen the next day. Whereas the dog sees things just as they are. He sees what's in front of him and what's happening now. And I think it's a really good example of either being mindful, having a mind full of things, or being mindful. So you might be wondering what mindfulness is. So mindfulness is all about living in the now. Research tells us that we spend about 47% of our waking hours lost in thought, either ruminating about what's happened, what somebody said to us, or worrying about the future. So mindfulness is about being present, really being present for what's happening now, being aware of what's happening, being in that moment instead of lost in thought. Fundamentally, what it's all about is brain training. So you'll go to the gym to train your muscles to become stronger. And what we're doing with mindfulness and meditation is we're training the brain. There is a part of the brain that's responsible for the stress response. And after meditation, after an 8-week course of meditation, this part of the brain shrinks, which means that we are less responsive to stress. And the front of the brain, which is responsible for logic and memory, becomes denser. So there's actually scientific research to support mindfulness meditation. So to talk to you about some of the benefits, as we've mentioned earlier, it can stop those thoughts whirring round in the mind. You know how you get that thought and it goes round and round and round. With practice and with meditation over a period of time, you can slow those thoughts down, so anxiety, depression and stress all become reduced. It can also help to lower blood pressure. It's also used with people who have chronic pain, and it's also used with people who have drug or alcohol dependency. There are lots of different benefits for using mindful meditation. So I'm going to share with you a meditation. And with meditation, we use an anchor or something to support us, because often people will say to me, I can't meditate, I can't switch my mind off, and that's absolutely fine. Minds are meant to wander, minds are meant to think. So the concept of emptying your mind is completely false. It's not about emptying your mind. It's about being aware of those thoughts. And in order to support you with your thoughts, I'm going to ask you to focus on your breath. And that's going to be an anchor for your attention. So as we meditate, and the meditation will probably be about 8 minutes long, I just want you to continually bring your attention back to the breath. And no matter how many times the mind wanders, just recognise that it's wandered and bring it back to the breath. It's important to remember that there's nothing to achieve here. There's nowhere to go, nowhere to get to, absolutely nothing to achieve. You are just relaxing and focusing on the breath. Settle into a comfortable position, sitting on a chair, and sit slightly away from the chair so that the spine is self-supporting. And feel free to move around to make sure you're comfortable. Allow your eyes to close if that feels comfortable, but if not, then just lower your gaze. So bring your attention to physical sensations by focusing your attention on your feet. Starting with the toes, expand the spotlight of attention so that it takes in the soles of the feet, the heels and the tops of your feet, until you're attending to any and all of the sensations that you become aware of in both feet, moment by moment. Spend a few moments attending to the feet in this way and notice how sensations arise and dissolve. But if there are no sensations in this part of the body, that's absolutely fine. Just register a blank. We're not trying to make sensations happen. You're simply registering what's already here when you attend. And now expand your attention to take in the rest of both legs. And then the body, from the pelvis and hips up to the shoulders. And then the left arm. And then the right arm. And then the neck and head. And now spend a few moments resting in the awareness of the whole body. And see if it's possible to allow your body and its sensations to be just as you find them. And let go of any tendency to want things to be different to how you find them. Just see things as they are, without wanting to change anything. And now bring your awareness to the breath as it moves in and out of the body at the abdomen. And notice the physical sensations in this region of the body as the breath moves in and out. And it might help to place a hand here for a few breaths and feel how the abdomen rises and falls. And you might notice mild sensations of stretching as the abdomen gently rises on the in-breath, and different sensations as it falls on the out-breath. As best you can, follow closely with your attention so that you notice the changing patterns of sensations for the full duration of the in-breath and the full duration of the out-breath. And perhaps notice any slight pauses between one in-breath and the following out-breath, and between an out-breath and the following in-breath. There's no need to try to control the breath in any way. Simply let the breath breathe itself. Sooner or later, usually sooner, you'll find your attention will wander away from the breath, and you might find thoughts, images, or daydreams coming up. And as we said, mind wandering isn't a mistake, it's just what minds do. And when you notice that your awareness is no longer on the breath, congratulate yourself. You've woken up enough to recognise and are once more aware of your experience in this moment. Just acknowledge where the mind has wandered to and gently escort it back to the sensations in the abdomen. The mind will likely wander over and over again. So each time remember that the aim is simply to note where the mind has been and bring it back to the breath. This can often be difficult, and you might find it frustrating that the mind seems so disobedient. But frustration can create extra noise in the mind, so no matter how many times your mind wanders, allow yourself on each occasion to cultivate compassion for the mind as you bring it back to where you wanted it to be. And see if it's possible to look at the repeated wanderings of the mind as opportunities for greater patience within yourself. And bring some kindliness towards the wandering mind. So continue with this practice for another 3 minutes, reminding yourself that the intention is simply to be aware of your experience in each moment. And as best you can, use the sensations in the body and breath as anchors to gently reconnect with the here and now each time you find that your mind has wandered. So when you're ready, bring your awareness back to the body, sitting on the chair. Become aware of any sounds that you hear around you. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So that was an introduction into mindfulness, your first mindful meditation. And you might want to take some time to reflect. How did you find that? How was it for you? What went well? What would you like to have been different? Remembering that nothing is right and nothing is wrong. It would be really useful if you could practice this meditation every day for a week. Try to do it at the same time of day, unless that's not easy for you. And you might want to keep a journal. You might want to make some notes after each meditation to talk about how it was for you. And remember, there is no right or wrong, so whatever your experience as you meditate is perfectly fine. But it would be interesting for you to note how you feel following meditation, and if after a week you have any benefits, or if you feel that the mind is a little calmer. One other tip that I'll leave you with is, as part of mindfulness, I encourage people to have a gratitude journal. So it might be useful for you at the end of every day, maybe before you go to bed at night, to think of 3 things that you're grateful for that day. And that can be anything. Sometimes when people start to practice gratitude, it can be a little bit difficult because we're not used to doing it. But the more you are grateful for the things that happen to you, the more positive you'll become, and the easier these attitudes of gratitude will become for you. So just keep a little notepad by the bed, and every day try to think of 3 things you're grateful for that day. Examples might be the sunshine, might be a really nice day. The sun might be out, the sky might be blue. It might be a smile from your grandchild or your child. It might be taking your dog for a walk. It doesn't have to be anything exciting, anything big, but just practice gratitude. I hope you've enjoyed the introduction to mindfulness, and if you want any more information, just give me a call or drop me an email on debbie@mindfitcoaching.co.uk.